Because I'm absolutely crap at live sales pitches, I've had to do a pre-record, all right? So here goes. Are you looking for top quality tea and coffee? Well, look no further than the Kent and Sussex Tea and Coffee Company. Owned by a fellow West Ham fan, David. Whether you're after a loose leaf tea with health benefits, tea bags, I mean, my personal favourite is Pluckley tea, or a wide selection of coffee beans or grounds, they've got you covered. As a bonus, use a discount code Claret15 at checkout and get 15% off your order. Quality brews at a great price. What more could you ask for? That weren't too bad, was it? Right, on with the show. The Daily Ramble podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Matchday morning show on Claret and Booze. My name's Nick, and I am very happy that it's football again on Saturday. West Ham going to ruin another weekend. I don't know. We're gonna go on to talk about that. As always, if you're new to the show, please drop a like on the video, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Done that the wrong way around, but look, it's Saturday morning. I'm still hungover from Wednesday night, travelling down to Liverpool. Yeah, there's loads of games today. I'm not going to flick through them all. I'm just going to let you know what the fixtures are before I get onto West Ham, because it's a struggle enough talking about West Ham. Newcastle at the early kick-off against Man City. Arsenal are at home to Leicester. Brentford are at home to West Ham, which we're going to talk about. Chelsea are at home to Brighton. Everton are at home to Crystal Palace. Nottingham Forest are at home to Fulham. And Wolves are at home to Liverpool. So that's, 7 games today. Seven wonderful games of football. So what are the ones that are televised? I'll watch a Man City game at 12:30. I'll watch West Ham at 3 o'clock. And if the life hasn't been sucked out of me by that point, I'll watch Wolves versus Liverpool. Okay, so you know what I'm like. I'm typically when things are not going so well, I'm very downbeat on the lead up to a game. And it always happens when it gets to match day. I feel very, very optimistic. I go from, we're going to get beat 3-1, 4-1 to, no, we're going to win. I even felt like that on the morning of the Liverpool game, if I'm being honest. I thought, no, we've got a chance. And look, to be honest, that wasn't a 5-1 game. I don't know that with the decisions that we didn't get, whether we would have won anyway. But it definitely was not a 5-1 game. I do think that although we put out a weakened team, which I believe is unforgivable, the players that went out on that pitch, they definitely played for the fans. We were as one. We were connected. But yeah, so I've woken up this morning, first thing this morning, thinking, no, do you know what? Julian, he's on the ropes. He's gone to shit. We've been crap. Tactically, we've been crap. But when you look at it on the face of it, we've faced Villa, we've faced City, we've faced Chelsea, we've faced Liverpool. We've gone and got a result against Palace, who battered us last year. We've gone and got a point away to Fulham, who beat us 5-0 last season. It's not too bad, ignoring all of the context around it, which is the ridiculous lineups and tactics that we've been seeing. Just ignoring that, on the face of it, we're going to be fine. Maybe it will click. Anyway, the first thing that happens is, I'm quite superstitious. And the first thing that happened was I saw a single magpie on my dog walk. Spent 30 minutes looking for another one. Not a single fucking magpie in sight. I even done part of another lap, not a full lap, because I wasn't that desperate. But I did do another lap. One magpie. That's all I saw. And then I dropped my car off for its MOT. Walking back, and I saw this box on the floor. This flattened cardboard container, distraught cardboard container. That kind of compounded my misery, because it's either going to be my car, what they're going to hammer me for, or is it going to be West Ham? I don't know. So I got back home and I tried to cheer myself up. I thought, I'm going to cheer myself up. What am I going to do? So I went on our Telegram community, and I saw Nick One had been pissing around with some face app, and he's turning us all into birds. So this made me feel better personally, because first of all, you got Sam. Have a look at that. Sam and Luigi. Wait till you see Luigi, right? Sam, Sam's fine, just looks a bit sinister, looks scathing. Looks like, one of those women that's just going to fucking be disappointed at you. Look, that face, you've just dropped your trousers. That's the face he's pulling. Hang on, next one. You got Sonia Jackson, Luigi. Woof. The best one for me, that's John. That's Virgil. Have a look. Now, that looks like the bird from Misery, doesn't it? What's it, Kathy Bates? I mean, he is a miserable git, John. He is. But, I mean, yeah, I think he's lucky he was born male. Let's just put it that way. Me on the other end. Me. God, I tell you what. Have a look. Have a look. I'm fantastic. You ain't even got to see the rest of me. You can tell I've got big double Ds. Do you know what I mean? I am fit. Fit. So come on, rate Sam, Luigi, John, and me out of 10. Do it. Go on the bird scale. All right, that's enough of that anyway. Yeah, I might transition. I might do. You know, I think I'm doing myself an injustice. Back to the football. What's going to happen today? We don't know. I don't think Fulkrug's going to be playing. By the sounds of things, from what we get, mixed messaging, but from how I understand it, he's still not going to be available. So we haven't got Fulkrug. We haven't got Alvarez because Alvarez is so nasty and he tackles players and he got a red card and you can't do it. I'm going to do it when I watch the game later on. Whenever anyone tackles, I'm going to go, no, stop tackling, stop it. You might get a yellow. That's what I'm going to say all later on. You know, be nice, West Ham. Just stand there and let the other team run round you. That's what you want to do. Don't get angry. You know, don't threaten other South Americans that you're going to kill them in the car park and things like that. I love Alvarez. I don't care about all these other fans. I'm not going to use a W word again, all right? Because I've upset a few people. I'll just call you soft. I'm going to call you soft. If you don't like players that are hard, that like kicking other players up in the air, you're soft. I'm sorry. I love it. We haven't got Alvarez. He's going to be a massive miss. And the big one is going to be in defence for me. So we'll start at the back. Areola does have to start. Emerson's going to come in at left back, obviously. We're going to be playing Wan-Bissaka at right back. We're going to be playing Kilman. That's a given. The big one is Dinos and Todibo. I don't think it is a big one. I think Dinos has had more than his fair share of chances this year to prove himself, and he does make catastrophic errors, unfortunately for him, that have led to quite a few goals. Todibo didn't look great the other day, but he didn't look terrible, and this is a player that's only going to improve with game time. We need to strengthen that defence up. We've got to go with it. You know, it's not like he's coming in. He's not coming in to replace someone who's flying. He's coming in to replace someone who's faltering. So for me, Todibo has to come in. You know, this is our player. I've said it before. It's not an option to buy. It's an obligation. He's not on loan. We've got him on the buy now, pay later. He's our player. An expensive signing at that. So we need to get him up to speed. I don't think you get the accolades that he's had over the last few years. Not just because he was linked with Juventus, but you've only got to look at the reports from top scouts that have analysed his game and his ability. And, you know, he's a top player. He is. But like so many other players in this team and the system that we're playing at the moment, they're not looking great. You know, they've all looked crap apart from Kilman. There isn't really any players. I mean, Bowen had his best game for us the other day. He's been shit all season. Paqueta ain't been great. Coyi'S has been he's been average. You know, these are like world-beating players over the last year or so, and they're all looking poor. So I don't think it's really fair to judge the new players that have come in completely, even the likes of Guido Rodriguez, okay? Because Guido Rodriguez, I think what we saw when he first came in was a good player. It's undoubted that he lacks pace. Of course he lacks pace. He's slow. He makes Danny Ings look quick. He's very slow. But when you can read the game, if you're played in the correct formation and you're there to sweep up, sometimes you don't need the pace. Sometimes, you know, you're already in the area that you need to be in before the ball arrives there, because you can read the game. So providing the structure is correct, then I think he can offer a lot. Where we've been going wrong is this stupid deep double pivot. You know, the two at the base, and then, you know, it's not a 10, the 8 in front of them, which ends up as a defensive midfielder. He needs to invert that triangle. We need one at the base. We need 2 box to boxes. You know, that's what we need. So for me, it's going to have to be Rodriguez that comes in, because I do think that he's the best defensive midfielder that we have outside of Alvarez. He comes in and he sits and he shields that back four. In front of that, for me, what I would do, I would play Coyi'S and I would play Paqueta in a double pivot in the middle. 100% that's what I'd do. I'd play those two in a double pivot. I think that would be fantastic. They are both mercurial players that will get up and down. If you play them central, they come to life, the pair of them. They're also going to be on a similar wavelength. You know, Paqueta does like to play with good players. He does. He's used to it in his national team where he does shine. I think you'll get the best out of Paqueta. I'm not going to talk about his court case and speculate whether he's guilty or not, and say that he's guilty and start slagging him off, you know, before the case has even been heard. I'm not going to do that. He's our player. And do you know what? Even if he turns out to be guilty, I hope he fucking gets away with it. What's he done? Ripped off some bookies. So I love Paqueta. Yeah, so that would be the middle for me. So to recap, Emerson left back, Aaron Wan-Bissaka right back, a centre-back pairing of Todibo and Kilman, with Rodriguez shielding in front, not given much else to do. Just read the game, shield, clean up, sweep up. That's all he's got to do. I think Todibo and Kilman do have a bit of pace between them. And then in front of that, you've got the box-to-box explosiveness of Mohamed Kudus and Lucas Paqueta. You've got ball-carrying ability. You've got pace. You've got the ability to thread the ball through the eye of a needle. For Jimmy Somerville, Super Jimmy Somerville out on the left wing. He's got to play again. He's got to come in. Somerville's got to start. Bowen on the right wing, who had his best game of the season, I would say, against Liverpool, because it was a conventional formation. There was nothing funky going on. You didn't have one of our central defensive midfielders dropping back and splitting the centre-backs. It was just a flat 4-2-3-1. That was all it was. And I think that that was just less confusing for the team. Bowen shined. And that's what I would do. Up front, I'm going to ruffle some feathers. Ings was anonymous, all right? If you're going to play this way, Ings is a great option to have off the bench when you need to get a goal. He doesn't have the legs. He hasn't got the physicality. You can't have him leading the line on his own. If you're going to play two up front, fine, throw him in there. But you can't play Ings on his own. That's why Aston Villa got rid of him, because he can't play up front on his own. We've only got one striker when Füllkrug is not available that can lead that line, that can batter defenders. And when he came on against Liverpool, certainly for me, up front and in person, you know, it was literally up front and personal. I was 10 foot away from the action. They were shooting towards us in the second half. Antonio was an absolute fucking live wire when he came on. He was battering their defenders. When he's in that mood, he's very difficult to play against. And when you've got Paqueta and Kudus in the middle behind him, when you've got Bowen and Somerville on the wings around him, you need a wrecking machine. Someone that's going to cause chaos up front. Someone that's going to run in, batter the defenders, make runs, pull them around, because he ain't a static centre forward. He does drift out to the wings. He drags defenders with him. He creates space for others. So I would start with Antonio. Should we be here? No. But what are the options? You know, what are the options? You can't play Ings and you can't play Füllkrug because he's injured. All right? If we had Füllkrug, I would say start Füllkrug, but we haven't got him at the moment. So that would be my starting lineup. I've been calling for it for ages to have Kudus and Paqueta in the middle, put them both in the middle. There's been people talking about, you know, there's shifting Bowen around. You know, he's playing him as a striker. Yeah, well, he was shit as a striker. We tried that. Okay. Play him as a number 10. He's never played as a number 10. We know he is most effective as a right winger. He is a right winger. We don't want square pegs in round holes. Leave him on the fucking right wing. We know Kudus is great on the right wing. We know he's least effective on the left wing. But the obvious thing to do is play him in the middle, because his best moments for West Ham are when he drifts inside and he explodes through the middle of the park. He comes to life in the middle. You know, so the obvious thing for me, he plays for Ghana in the 10. He played for large portions of his career at Ajax in the 10. Play Kudus in the middle. That's what we need to do. And I'm hoping and I'm praying that we can get a result away at Brentford today. It is not going to be easy. Tactically, he has to get it bang on, because if he gets it wrong, it makes no difference whatsoever what the players do on the pitch. If he gets this wrong, the players are knackered. Thomas Frank, he's Brentford's team. They don't care if they're playing home or away. They play the same way every single time. If we even attempt to do what we did against Chelsea, play that ridiculous high line, Thomas Frank will have us for breakfast. He will. He'll just sit unashamedly blocking, letting us have the ball in non-dangerous areas, defending resolutely, because that's what they do. They are a good defensive unit, and we struggle to create. So how are we going to get through that? We're not going to. the line will drift up to the halfway line, and then what he'll do is he'll go direct, and they are a good, effective counter-attacking team. They'll pick us off for fun. He's got to get it right tactically for this game. Because if he even attempts to do what he did against Chelsea, I think it could be worse than Chelsea. Because they're a wicked counter-attacking team. It's what they do. So I like playing with a high line when you've got pacey defenders and when you know to play out from the back. And this is the other thing as well, playing out from the back, right? He just hasn't got it yet. He's going to have to go back to basics until he's got it into his team how he wants them to play. He's got to. Because we are not playing out from the back. We're playing at the back. There's a difference. Playing out from the back is the goalkeeper passing to a defender and then the defender passing it to a midfielder and then the midfielder passing it to a winger. That is playing out from the back. What we do is we play the ball parallel across our own 18-yard box. I saw it against Liverpool. I was going fucking mad in the first half. Early on. We must have played 20 passes and all we was doing was going back to front and it was inside. It was only about 15 yards away from our goal. We was going side to side. What's the fucking point? Fabianski was going mad. For a start, he's not the right type of keeper to play if you're going to attempt to play out from the back. But we don't play out from the back. What we do is we try and hold the ball and work it through or round to someone who eventually launches it long. You might as well just go long, push the players up anyway, because if you do that, if you've got 4 players back and you're playing parallel fucking passing across your own box, by the time you do launch it, you've got 4 players back in defence. No. If you're going to play long, play long. Give it to Fabianski, tell all the players to fuck off up the pitch. That's what you do. Your fullbacks at least, so you've got more chance of doing something if that long ball actually comes to, if it finds someone. So I'm hoping that we get something out of this game. I'm going to ignore the very, very upset cardboard box, all right? And I'm going to focus on my sexiness as a female. And I think we're going to win. I think we're going to win today, all right? I don't really. But I'm going to predict a result anyway. And I'm going to be positive just for the sake of it. I'm going to go 2-1 West Ham. Let me know what your thoughts are. Give us your results in the bottom. I'm forcing myself to be positive. I don't feel positive. The magpie in the box sucked whatever life I had out of me. So, yeah. Come on, West Ham anyway. Come on, Lopetegui. I hope you fucking sort yourself out and stop doing silly things. Stop acting like fucking Manuel from Fawlty Towers. Especially in interviews. He's gone from being really kind of fluent with his English to needing a fucking interpreter to ask him what day of the week it is. I don't know what's going on. He must have rehearsed them early ones. He must have. But yeah, it is like an episode of Fawlty Towers, isn't it? Except Sullivan is a less funny version of Basil Fawlty. Right, I'm going to let you go. Speak to you all soon. Come on, you irons.